Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. First off, I'd like to tell you thank you for airing out the situations at hand with Obamacare and the military death benefits.
Right. Thank you.
Me personally, I'm a former soldier. I'm a disabled veteran as well. And when you enlist in the military, they give you $400,000 so if you die. And that's entitlement to any troop that's deployed downrange and he gets killed. They give you $400,000 to take care of funeral, take care of your family and everything.
Right.
And I don't see how they took that away.
And I don't have the answer to that. Under this shutdown thing, they got all kind of rationale about what they're doing, and one side's trying to make a point with it, and the other side's trying to be saying we're not going to negotiate about anything or what have you, being hard-nosed. So that's just the frustration that we see going on in Washington. But the thing about it is, we've got leaders up there that should have plans in place to take care when a family gets a notice like these 5 families just this past weekend got. They should know that the relief they need and the things they've been promised should be there regardless of what they're arguing about up there. I mean, this should have never happened.
I firmly believe that as well. I mean, myself as a disabled veteran and multiple other disabled veterans that I know all feel the same way. And my take on this is it's just bull honky.
Okay. Are you disabled from service in the military?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29 years old. Where were you injured?
I tore my shoulder out of socket, and it needs to be rebuilt, and I'm refusing to get a surgery right now.
Yeah. Well, I can't blame you for that. Appreciate your service to our country, and sorry that you're having to face some of the things you're facing as a result of service to our country. But thank you for your input today.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Where are you calling from?
Hinesville.
Hinesville? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your phone call, sir.
Yes, sir.
Phone lines are open. We're only taking calls on one line, so if you've been trying to get through on that line, you get a busy signal. Just keep redialing us. Put it on automatic redial or something like that until the previous conversation's over with, and we'll take your calls. But the lines are open right now, and we're here just to vent a little bit and to talk about this subject. We're talking about health care. We're talking about the complications of health care, and we're also talking about this fiasco we've seen with our military and the Defense Department, the way they're treating our fallen heroes that have just 5 last weekend killed in action in Afghanistan, and their families really in dire situations. But it's not as dire as it could be because Fisher House has come through, and we got another call coming in, so let's go ahead and take that call. Z-94, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing fine, thank you.
Well, Wild Bill, that's I'm from over here around Glenville.
Right.
And I was hearing what y'all was doing on the radio, and I wish they'd do that all over the country, because I think they probably get their feelings hurt pretty bad.
Well, I think they begin to get a message from the people if more people were speaking out, don't you?
Yes, sir, and I think the truckers is really doing something day to day that's, along with the bikers that went up yonder. I don't know if they're feeling the heat of it or not yet, but I think our country's heading in the wrong direction, and I think the leadership we got up there from the top to the bottom, it just needs to be cleaned up. All of them hauled out of there, not voted out, drug out.
Well, let me ask you something. And the people you talk to, you run into on the street or drink coffee with or what have you, are they talking this thing? Are they upset about it? Or the grassroots people? Are we the people concerned enough to speak out?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the thing is, this thing runs deeper than just Obamacare. I mean, this thing's just a domino effect, starting from everything from like prayer in schools.
Yeah, it's been going on.
Pushing all the way down to political correctness. All that stuff's been tearing this country apart. And it all comes down to, if anybody knows about it, Sal Lewinsky wrote a book called Rules for Radicals.
That's right.
And this whole country, we are falling in lockstep with that.
We're seeing a plan being developed now to take us over and to just diminish this country from what we know it. Yes.
Right, and the thing is you got a Christian kid, a Catholic kid, or a Jewish kid. He can't pray in school. You know, he might have to go in a corner or something. But if a Muslim kid wants to drop his rug and face the east, he's fine to do that, and that's part of political correctness, and that's them trying to force feed the Muslim faith upon us to accept it. And I think it's just a lot of several different things, but I think they're in rough shape. But I do believe, and I believe with all my heart and soul, that this country's fixing to see a revolution. And I mean, I ain't talking to the politicians. I'm talking about people going up there and dragging them out their offices. Well, I mean, I think people are to that point and fed up so bad because they ain't getting it. They're living like royalty there, and we ain't nothing but gravel and peasants to them.
Well, they come home and through the national TV media and cable and all this kind of stuff, they tell us what they think we want to hear, and they come down here and talk sweet to us when they have these town hall visits and go back and do just business as usual. Well,
they pushing their agenda. They're not pushing the people's agenda.
That's right.
They're pushing their own agenda. And you ever notice, you don't never see a senator or a congressman. He might go in office poor, but he don't never come out poor.
you got a point. You got a point there.
I mean, I think this country's to the point where you keep hearing people, and I hear a lot of it, and I don't know about y'all, but I hear so much of it now. You know, people talking about 1776 Part 2's coming.
Yeah.
And our forefathers, that's what part of the Second Amendment was for.
Well,
and like the old saying goes, they said the tree of liberty must be, the thirst of the tree of liberty must be quenched with the blood of tyrants and patriots.
Well,
I know it sounds drastic, but I think you know, all this stuff's coming into play, and we got to make up our mind whether we want to save our country or we want to be a socialist country.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head, and people have got to speak out, and I appreciate you being one of them. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Glenville.
Okay.
Let me make one more thing to you.
All righty.
It's going to blow your mind. Of course, you might already know it. When I served in the Air Force, I was in there during the Cold War, fighting the communists. You know, and right now, in our Senate and Congress, House of Representatives, or what have you, there's 78 registered communists and socialists serving as congressmen, senators, and representatives right now. 78, if not more.
Well, I've heard that, but I haven't confirmed that, to tell you the truth. I
pulled up some of the stuff and researched it, and there were some things I couldn't pull up, but I did see a lot of it, and it's shocking.
All right.
Amazing.
Okay, partner, I thank you for your call and appreciate your input.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
All right. Appreciate your calls coming in. Thank you for those of you that have called. I know being on this one line, it's probably difficult for you to get through, but we need your phone calls and want to hear from you. 367-0028, and let's go back to the calls. Z-94, you're on the air.
Yes, I was just wanting to comment on the topic that is being discussed. With the deal with the Obamacare and all the government shut down, all this, I agree with the last caller who called. It's my great aunt served one term as a representative back in the, I think it was late 80s or early 90s.
Yes, sir.
And when she retired, she told me the reason she did not run for a second term, even though the constituents wanted her to, was that an honest person who was trying to do the right thing for the people couldn't get anything accomplished up there due to all the backdoor deals and money that was exchanged hands. Like I said, this comes from a woman that was there. She served one term as a representative, and she wouldn't run again because she said an honest person couldn't do the job. They would not allow an honest person to do the job.
Well, it seems like you can't, you don't hear from the people that get elected when they get up there. You don't hear very much from them when they get there. Seems like they kind of just acquiesce to whatever's going on. And you know, I will say this in line with what you're saying about this lady that served one term. Our senator now, Saxby Chambliss, has been there for several years, and he's announced that he's not going to run again. And I'm told that one of those reasons is that he's just frustrated with the way they try to do business up there, and he doesn't feel like he can get anything done.
Yes, sir. that's the whole thing. They get up there, especially your Congress people. They get up there, and then they just want to do that for the rest of their life.
Yep, they make it.
And Congress was not set up originally by our founding fathers to be the primary source of income. They were given an income to supplement what they were losing from their stores, farms, law practice. And somehow along the line, we have gotten away from that. And now they go up there as career politicians, and that's where the mistake's at.
Yep. They want to get up there. It seems to become about power and money. It seems to be that that keeps them there. Where are you calling from?
Baxter.
Okay. Appreciate your phone call today.
All right, thank you.
We're going to open up the lines, try to let somebody else get in. Thank you. All righty. I think you pretty much hear the pulse beat of the people, and that's what we're here for, to feel you out and to see whether or not you're concerned enough about it that you're willing to take a step and speak out, and then call your congressmen, your senators, and write your president for that matter. But Wild Bill, let's go to another commercial break, see if we take another call and pay the light bill here, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Continuing to talk about a number of different topics, the Affordable Care Act, one of them, and also military benefits and how they are not being paid to our military families at all.
Okay, Wild Bill, and I would remind our callers, if you would, please be patient with us because we're trying to get to your calls as fast as we can. We're taking them on one line.
People can't afford their insurance, and they're supposed to get penalized if they can't get it. What are they supposed to do?
Sir, I missed part of your question. If you would start over again.
All right, what do you do when somebody don't have the insurance to pay for it, and they get fined?
Well, that's where Internal Revenue Service is going to come in. Internal Revenue Service is going to ask you to pay that fine, and if when you file your tax return, my understanding is that if you've got a refund coming, that fine will come out of the refund, and then you'll get the rest of your refund. That's my understanding of how that works. Now, if you don't get in on Obamacare, then you're going to have to buy your own insurance, and then you'll have to pay the fine. So
okay.
a lot of people are saying, it's cheaper to pay the fine and go out and buy your own insurance because under some of these plans now, you're going to have a high premium, and you're also going to have a high deductible, which nobody's doing a whole lot of. There's some talk being done about it, but most families have a $500 or $1,000 deductible on their insurance now, and then they pay their monthly premium. When they go to the hospital, they got to pay the first, say, $1,000. Well, the way this is going to work, when you go to the hospital, you're going to have to pay before the insurance kicks in. You're going to have to pay whatever your deductible is, and that could be $3,000, $5,000, or whatever. The higher the deductible, the lower your premium. So that means the more you're willing to pay up front, the lower your monthly payment will be.
Oh, okay.
But where are you calling from?
Actually.
Okay, how old are you?
58.
Have you tried to get in on to register online for the Obamacare?
No, yeah, because I don't have a computer. I got some papers that come in the mail through Blue Cross and Blue Shield wanting me. There's a program there. They said I might be qualified for.
Yeah. Well, there is a plan underway too, to where people that can't afford the premium, that the federal government, through the tax money they get from the people all across the country, they're going to give some subsidies to help people pay the premium. So how that's going to work and how efficient that's going to be is yet to be seen, because it is being reported that a lot of people, thousands of millions of people, can't even get through to get the information. So just have to take it as it comes.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Thank you for your call. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, man, my name's Mike. I'm a younger fella. I live out here in McRae. And me and my grandfather, we sit here and we listen to this radio station every day, all day long, listening to everybody ranting about what's going on.
Thank you.
And, man, we sit here and we talk about how Obama, he cuts the military's benefits, and he cuts everybody else, trying to make them pay more so they can get more money in there. But we think about how much money they give to Section 8 and how much money they give out to free people that don't want to work. And we think that if they're going to start doing stuff like this, they should have to make a certain amount of money a year to get something for free, and quit taking away from the people that work for a living to try to give something to their families.
Okay, so be put in a position where they have to work for what to get, right?
Yes, sir. Instead of, he's giving the people, he's taking from the people that support this country and keep this country going to give to the people that don't want to work.
All right, how old are you?
I'm actually 24 years old.
How old's your grandpa?
My grandfather is 68.
Okay, well, thank you for your call. You're from McRae?
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate your input. Thank you very much.
Sir, you have a good one.
All righty. And we got a call coming in. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, how's it going? I'm calling about the debate with the government shutdown and all.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, I'm a United States Marine. I served for 7 years, deployed to Iraq several times. There's only been two people in history that have ever had their own symbol, and one of them is Adolf Hitler, and the other one is Obama. Y'all explain this to me. When you take the Second Amendment and you take somebody's weapons away, that's the same thing that Hitler did in Germany, and then he loaded the people on trains and took them to a slaughterhouse. That's what he's trying to accomplish in this country. I mean, tax money is just unreal. You get taxed on what you buy. You get taxed on your paycheck. You get they're calling Social Security an entitlement. That's money that we put into an account for us whenever we retire.
That's
and
right.
now they're taking that money from us. When I'm 40 years old, I'm from Vidalia, Georgia. I'll never see Social Security ever because there won't be any money there whenever I'm able to draw it. A woman posted the other day that they keep moving the goal line. You used to be able to retire at 65 and get your Social Security. Now you can only retire at 67, and now they're talking about moving it back to 70. I mean, the country's going downhill, and people just aren't seeing it. You got so many liberals in this country that think that he's the greatest thing in the world. I read a post the other day, a young man, he had never had health care. He worked part-time, made like $11,500 a year, was so tickled when Obamacare come through that he could finally have health care. He enrolled in it, and once he was enrolled, he found out what his premium was going to be. He has to pay $175 a month, which totaled up to like 18% of this man's annual income. Can somebody please tell me why this country isn't standing up for what we believed in, what our founding fathers started years ago, and now we're just letting it decay because of one man, and he's got control of the Senate and the House? I mean, anything?
I appreciate your phone call, and one reason that things are the way they are is because we, the people, have not spoken. We haven't brought them into account, and we haven't done what we need to do on our end. I appreciate your phone call. How old are you?
I'm 40 years old, sir.
And you're calling from where?
I'm from Vidalia.
Thank you very much for your phone call today.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, got another one, Mr.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. My name is Barbara Bishop, and I live in the Pavilion Nursing Home,
Yes, ma'am.
and I get SSI. And I think that Obama is doing this wrong because they're cutting Medicaid, and they're doing limits where sometimes I have to pay for my medication and I only get $50 a month.
All righty. 367, what line did that come in on?
3001.
Okay, 367 3001 or 367-0028. Those are the numbers to call. Both lines are open, and we'd like to hear from you. We're talking about Obamacare and whether or not you're getting online or how much of a problem you have in getting online to get registered, whether or not you're in favor of Obamacare or more technically the Affordable Care Act. Let's go back to the phones and take a call. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, I tell you what I would like to do about all these senators and congressmen that can't manage to do their job. I'd like to see America shut them down. I'd like to see every place of business deny to sell them a hamburger or a haircut or a gallon of milk or a gallon of gas so that they hurt a little bit and it gets real with them, and then let's see if we can't motivate them to get in there and get the job done that they were elected to do.
All right. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Waycross.
From Waycross, and how old are you?
57.
Thank you very much for your phone call, sir.
Hello, this is Marshall.
Hey, Marshall.
We're just traveling up on 16 up to the Atlanta airport, so we been listening to your show on the way over the last hour or so,
Okay.
talking about Obamacare.
Right.
I have a close friend who's a congressman, and we talk about it all the time. The problem with Obamacare is that with guaranteed issue, without worrying about pre-existing conditions, no one needs the insurance until you're sick. And it's cheaper to pay the penalty than it is to buy the insurance.
Yep, that's what we're told.
And so he was talking with a congressman from California, and the first week they had about 1 million hits on the system. And out of that, they received 13,000 applications. And from those 13,000 applications, 2 policies were issued. One that cost, after all the subsidies, $2 a month. I think the other one cost $3 a month. So that's what they've managed to accomplish in the first week that Obamacare has been available.
Yeah, that the data's not very good on that.
So I don't know how the system is going to work. They passed the bill because that's the only bill that could get out of the Senate on a 51 vote majority.
Yeah.
It was never supposed to be law, but it became law. And I don't know how you fix that.
Well, tell me, what's your take on once you pass a law and then you go back in and decide you're going to delay implementing this part of the law or that part of the law when the law is what the law is?
Well, it's entirely illegal, but I don't think that stops Obama from doing anything.
No, it doesn't. And let me be clear on this. I didn't understand from the get-go. You came out of the Atlanta airport, and what?
We're just driving up to Atlanta to fly home to California.
Okay, all right. So you're on the road, and I appreciate your phone call. What's your take on what's happening to our military families now under this so-called government shutdown, when a provision was made before the shutdown to take care of the fatalities we had in military service?
Well, the Obama administration has decided to make the shutdown as painful for the American public as possible. And so we were up in East Tennessee going through the Great Smokies National Park. We were at other federal parks, and of course, they're closed.
Yeah.
Because that's what the public sees and feels from the federal government.
That's right.
And so the fact that they passed a bill to allow the military to continue being paid, and they found some Army lawyers who say that it did not cover death benefits. I think it's just part of the overall Obama strategy of making this whole problem as unpopular for the American people as possible.
Yeah, it kind of reflects back to the days of the announcement of sequestration and how the doom and gloom talk was then.
Well, the sequestration was only a slowdown in the rate of growth of expending, so it really didn't cut anything beyond what the budget that various departments came up with decided to try to push for.
Okay.
And so the sequestration was a step in the right direction, but it was a very small step, and the fact that the American public hasn't felt it should not be a great surprise.
That's right. Okay, where are you at now? Where are you traveling? What's your geography?
Well, I am about 30 miles out of Macon.
Okay.
Heading west on 16.
Okay, well, you and your family traveling with you, please drive carefully, and we're proud to have you in the state of Georgia.
All right.
Thank you for your call.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 367-3001, 367-0028. Thank the gentleman for his call from California, traveling through Georgia, and hope his trip is safe. And folks, you're hearing the pulse of really what I believe is the pulse of the people, and that we've just got to get this word to Washington, to John Barra, Jack Kingston, Saxby Chambliss, Johnny Isakson, and they've got to get the message to the President of the United States. And I really think he knows, but I think he really don't care. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, sir, I was going to call and just touch base with you on what y'all are discussing right now.
Okay.
So the government shutdown, I think, is probably a preliminary event that's probably going to indicate something a lot bigger is going to happen, such as the defaulting of the American government not paying back their loans. I don't know if anyone really understands what that means domestically and foreignly, but it has potential pretty bad.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm actually on the road driving from Hazelhurst to Douglas.
Okay. Thank you very much for your phone call.
Okay.
All right. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air. Okay, we missed that call there. Call back if you would. 367-3001, 367-0028. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, Al, how you doing?
All right.
Al, this is Lester Drawley. I'm on the road over here between Tifton and, outside Tifton. Do
Okay.
you think that our congressmen and senators and House representatives is going to have to take the Obamacare like they're trying to force on the people?
Well, they're saying they don't want it, but then Obama saying he's not going to do anything about that. He's going to pass that executive order that he signed, giving them the subsidies and their staff the subsidies and all the White House staff. And that's something you're not hearing a whole lot about these days because this kind of dropped off the radar, and it's going to slide through, and we the people it's going to happen, and we're not going to just do anything about it. So,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Our elected officials have a different set of rules that they go by, other than what they're imposing on the people that put them in office.
well, and that's exactly that burden of responsibility falls on our shoulders for allowing our representatives to pass a law that doesn't apply to them just like it applies to us. That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. They shouldn't pass a thing that doesn't apply to them.
That's correct. I agree with you. I think everybody in the country needs to have a show going on the radio like you have to get the word out.
Well, we do this every once in a while. We get some subjects on the air, and I write some thoughts you might like to knows. But see, the people have got to stand up. That's what I've been trying to promote the whole time.
Right.
Wherever you stand on the issue or whatever the issue is, be heard on it. Let your congressman and your senator and know about it, because I'm tired of those people going to Washington, getting up there and doing like they want to do, and coming under the influence of all that. All those people's been up there for 40 years, and then just never standing up and being heard and riding their coattails, and then it's all becoming about power and money, and we the people down here sending our money there and being victimized by all this regulation they put on us, and it's time we speak up.
I agree with you 100%.
Well, you speak up to your congressman and your senator, sir. Thank you very much for your phone call today.
Okay, Al, have a good day.
You too. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Al Graham, Mike Carter.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm pretty good out here working, trying to check for boll weevil around these cotton fields.
Yeah.
I called in this morning to the FSA office, the Farm Service Agency.
Right.
They are closed due to this shutdown.
Yeah.
So if any farmers have any questions or any business do it to farmers, the FSA office, they're out of luck.
Well, that's just a part of the program that they got going now, and it's a head-button thing up there, and we'll see who gives in.
Yeah,
Mike?
we don't think about the local stuff.
That's right.
With the farmers, but they're having to deal with it too. And my suggestion is everybody, when they go to vote this time, if it has incumbent by their name, vote for the next one.
Okay. Thank you,
It
Mike.
can't be any worse.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your phone call. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, I'm calling about the 28th Amendment. It says that Congress and the House shall not pass a bill or law that doesn't equally apply to them as it does to the people of the United States.
Well, that's an amendment we need to get on the ballot, but we got to have a constitutional convention before we can do that.
Yeah, that's true. But also, the government's overtaxing people for the minimum wage people are making to try to strive for their families. And if anybody remembers right, Britain tried the same thing, and the only way we could get away from their taxes was revolution.
Exactly. Where are you calling from?
Glenville, Georgia.
Okay, how old are you?
26 years old.
Have you, what you going to do about insurance? You going to pay the fine, or you going to try to enroll in Obamacare, or what you going to do?
I have no plans of supporting Obama or his care plan. My wife's actually military, so we receive TRICARE right now currently.
Yeah.
So I have no plans of supporting that government.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your phone call today.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, Wild Bill, let's pay the light bill.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. Hick and Country, Z-94, WBYZ, Backsley.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
if you could, for those out here that don't understand Obamacare, if you could just explain what you may know about it. Why is it going to double our insurance premiums? And
well, you're really asking a person that doesn't know that much about it. I haven't read the bill, but I do pay a lot of attention to the debate going on about it, and there's going to be insurance available for people, but under Obamacare, you've got to get online and get registered and get enrolled in it. For those that can't afford it, there are subsidies from the taxpayers through the federal government. They'll turn around and give you a check or give you money to pay your premiums with, or help you pay your premiums. And then those people that are going to buy insurance through Obamacare, you're going to find that depending on what plan you go into, like you go into a gold or a silver or a bronze, then you're going to have a certain premium, and then you're going to have a certain deductible. And what we're being told is that the premiums are going to be kind of high, and that the deductibles that families will have, just like now or prior to Obamacare, when you bought health insurance, you decided what you want your deductible to be. That means what you pay out of your pocket before the insurance company pays. And then the insurance company probably paid 80-20 or something like that. But now where you might select a $500 or $1,000 deductible, the deductibles are going to be something like $5,000, $6,000, $3,000, whatever deductible you choose. And then some of them will have a set deductible. So that means you're going to have to spend more money out of your pocket before the insurance pays anything. And this is the big drawback to nobody knows, because that's why some of our congressmen and senators have been asking for a 12-month delay in implementing this, so we can find out. There's some people that need it and need to get on it, want to get on it, and that's fine. There's some people who want to wait and see how it's going to turn out before they can make up their mind about what they need to do about it. That's pretty much it. The government's going to set the prices.
Yeah, do you know why it's costing the people that already have insurance? Why is their premiums doubling?
Their premiums are going up. One reason is because the pre-existing. If you got pre-existing conditions, used to you couldn't get insurance, but now you can. So that's going to cost the insurance companies more money. So they're raising the premiums, and also your children can stay on your policy until they're 26 years old. So that means when they turn 21, they came off of your policy, and now they can stay on another 5 years. So that's going to cost the insurance companies more money. So they're raising the premiums. It's all about power, and it's all about money, and this is what our people are faced with. And right now they're really in a total confusion because they don't really know what the best thing for them to do is, because they don't know really how they're going to be impacted by this.
Yes, sir. You had mentioned calling our representatives and our senators. If you could let everybody know how they would go about doing that, that might go a long way.
Well,
as far as their numbers or how they would get in touch with their email address or their numbers.
Well, we will do a special news story on that after this program, and we'll be promoting that over a several-day period of time. But I don't have it written down in front of me. I just didn't prepare that well for that. And I didn't really want to get into giving all that out on the program. I'd rather talk with as many people as I can, and that's what we're trying to do. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Hazelhurst, so I'm on the road right now.
Okay. How old are you?
43.
Okay. Do you currently have insurance?
Yes, sir.
Have you been notified anything about your premium going up?
My personal insurance is carried through my company. They pay for it, but my wife's a school teacher, and they've been informed that our family plan is going to double.
Yeah, we had an earlier call about that.
It's going to be hard to pay that. When you set your lifestyle on a certain, and then your insurance rate's double.
Yeah, well, that's all under this Affordable Care Act, and it seems to me like they sure should consider changing the name, because affordable shouldn't be in the word.
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your phone call, sir.
You have a blessed day.
All right, you too. All right, we got the open lines there. 367-3001, 367-0028. We're about 12 minutes after 1 o'clock. Thank you for all of you that have called in. For those of you that have tried to call in and couldn't get through, we apologize. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
I have a daughter that's 28 years old. She works for just over minimum wage. According to what we've seen, her deductible would be $13,000 a year, and she doesn't even make that much money.
The deductible, is this through Obamacare? I mean, is this?
Well, from what we can gather through Obamacare,
Okay,
we tried to check out the website. We just can't get anywhere.
Okay, where did
She
you get
does need insurance.
Where did you get the information that your deductible would be $13,000?
That was part of it that was listed on a link that was, that you went through the website.
Okay.
It may be incorrect. I mean, but it was for some kind of catastrophic care.
Yeah, okay, well, that sounds outrageous. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Baxley.
Okay, thank you for your phone call.
Okay.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, this is Brenda Clark. I'm over in Reeseville.
Yes, ma'am.
The Obamacare is not going to help the people. I don't know why Obama thinks that he has to have something with his name on it. He's not doing us any justice whatsoever. He has really put us in more financial burden than we were when Bush was in.
Yeah.
But the insurance premiums every year, even before Obama started this Obamacare, state insurance always goes up every school year.
Yeah, on your birthday.
Yeah, it goes up as the week before we go to school. It always goes up.
Right.
And it's going up higher and higher, and your payout is going out of pocket is going up higher and higher.
Right.
And these people that think that the government's going to pay for their care, they aren't. I am at this time disabled, and I have insurance from an individual. It's not through Medicare.
Right.
And we having to pay and still have to pay more than, every time we go to the doctor. The insurance doesn't pay that much. And pre-existing conditions, it's going to make the premium so high that you can't afford to buy insurance.
That's right.
And him saying that you can, well, yeah, they'll cover you, but then you're not going to be able to make the payment.
Right. Okay,
so
ma'am.
Then you can.
All right. I thank you for your phone call. Let us get to another line, and I thank you. If I can help you or answer anything else, I'll be glad to. But I do appreciate your comments, and hate to see the situation that you have.
Obamacare is just a way for the government to get their hands in the pot for more money. Insurance, your pharmaceutical companies, medical, that's where most of the money is made in the United States, besides Wall Street. But
yeah.
So the government, what they're wanting is their feet to that pie. And the fines that you get that are taken out of your income, that is just a way for them not to be able to or have to give you a refund check and get more of your money.
All right.
That's all it is.
Where are you calling from?
Waycross, Georgia.
Okay. Thank you, Waycross.
But
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Is that going to affect Medicare?
Is what now? What's your question?
The insurance. I mean, we'll still get our Medicare, won't we?
Yeah, you'll still get Medicare. The question or the concern seems to be whether or not, we
don't have to pay for it or whatever.
Well, it'll be pretty much like it is, but the question is whether or not doctors are going to remain seeing Medicare patients, because Medicare is going to be paying less and less, and nationwide more and more doctors are going to be refusing to see Medicare patients because the Medicare program doesn't pay them near what they want for their services. And so the question is, how many doctors will stay in practice, and how many doctors will accept Medicare, and how many won't accept Medicare? And that's going to the point's been made that where you can go in and see your doctor now in a reasonable time and get the service you need, that it's going to be more and more time delayed in you being able to see a doctor. And whether or not somebody will be approving whether or not you can have done what you need done and this kind of thing under Obamacare. So there's just a lot of things under it that and nobody knows yet what they all are. And that's the big deal with it.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Where are you calling from?
Hazelhurst, Georgia.
Okay. Thank you for your phone call.
Thank you.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd just like to say that Obamacare is bad for the nation. It's bad for individuals. You see more and more Medicare recipients receiving less and less benefits, and you're absolutely correct. Doctors will begin to quit seeing Medicare patients or being primary care doctors. We have several examples right here in South Georgia. Brunswick Hospital, Southeast Regional Hospital.
Yeah.
They're buying more and more doctors' practices in and around the area for the simple fact the doctors are providing less care. They can't afford their malpractice insurance. They can't afford their office help, so they're selling out their practices just so they can receive a basic check. And they're turning away patients on a daily basis.
Okay, ma'am. I appreciate that information. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Alamo, Georgia.
Okay, Alamo. Thank you very much. Have you tried, by the way, to get online to see what Obamacare is all about, or?
Yes, I have, and it's extremely hard to get online. And once you get online, you will get kicked off, or you won't get on the right subject you need to get on.
Okay. Have you had any notice of your insurance premiums going up?
No, not at this time.
All right. What's your feelings about the way the military is treating our fallen heroes and the death benefit subject? You have any comment on it?
Yeah, they're turning their back on them.
Yeah.
They're just using them for what they can get out of them, and they're used up, and they're kicking them to the wayside. Even our retired military vets, their VA benefits are going down every day. My father in particular is 77 years old. He's a Vietnam vet. He served in Germany also. Every day or every so often, he's put on a different color team. His benefits are going down every day. They're not covering what they used to cover. And older patients who don't have relatives or children who's able to help them, they're just literally dying. They're choosing between medicine, light, food, and song, and that's uncalled for.
Thank you very much for your comments, ma'am. Have a good day today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 367-3001, 367-0028. We're about 20 minutes after 1 o'clock, and boy, time flies when you get in here talking to the people. But we're getting, all the comments are very similar, and there's one common denominator. It's our federal government and the bureaucracy, and it being a problem for the people, and it shouldn't be. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
This is Phil Miles.
Yes, sir.
I would like to say two things.
All righty.
I would like to say for those people that voted for a lockdown or a shutdown, I think we ought to shut their pay down and let them do without these people without their pay now. And then we need to let them go serve in the military and let the military boys come home for a while, and when they see what it's like, they'll change their mind.
Well, you know, we've heard all our lives what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
That's correct.
Where are you calling from?
Baxley, Georgia.
Okay, thank you very much for your phone call.
Thank you.
All right. You know, folks, it's good to vent, and it's good to have your opinion, and that's what it's all about. But, folks, we got to take it a step further. We got to talk to our congressmen and our senators. We got to let them know how we feel. I think the pulse of the people across this country, I don't know. This Republican and Democrat thing, that's for the birds. I have good friends that are Democrats. I don't agree with the Democratic philosophy and strategy. I don't agree with all the Republican philosophy and strategy. But folks, it's we the people, and it's time we took a stand, and it's time that we as Americans take our country back and let our voices be heard and do what we need to do. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, I'd like to tell y'all one thing. If anybody out there hadn't seen that movie 2016, it would fairly highly need to be seen, because everything in that movie that documentary that he made on Barack Obama,
yeah,
has already either come into play or is coming into play.
Right.
It's like his exact plan of what he's wanting to do with this country, and he's got it spiraling down pretty fast now.
Yeah, it's a lot of things are coming to pass, aren't they?
Yes, sir. And You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news or anything, but it don't look like it's getting no brighter in the future.
Well, you know, there's two things. There's 2016 and the plan that it seems to be underway there, but we just don't know how long the good Lord's going to tolerate what's going on, you know?
Amen, brother.
Where you
I
calling?
hope he steps in soon.
Where are you calling from?
Hazelhurst, Georgia.
Thank you very much for your call.
Thank you.
367-0028, 367-3001. We appreciate all the opinions, all the comments, and we've had some good points touched on here. And that's what it's all about. But folks, we got to take it a step further and do something on our own to take our country back. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, I've just been listening to your show for the past few minutes. I just wish, you know, everybody would realize that it's not like you said earlier, it's not a Democrat and Republican issue. It's an American issue.
Right.
And you know, there's no one man to point the finger at. I keep hearing Obama's name get brought up, but there's a whole House, Senate, and Congress full of people that have just as many votes as he does.
Yep.
Democrat and Republican alike. And until everybody can stop bickering back and forth about which party is right and whose opinion is right, and until we can come together as Americans, then the problems is never going to get solved.
I agree with you.
You know, that's all I have to say. Thank
okay, where are you calling from?
Waco.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Yep.
The gentleman makes all the sense in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said a while ago, it's not a Democratic or Republican thing. It's an American thing, and for our grown-up leaders up there, for them to be bickering, for them to be doing what they're doing is ridiculous. Z-94, you're on the air.
Yeah, it's Obama don't care, right?
Well, there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Yeah, that's the way we all feel.
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
Alma, Georgia.
Okay, Alma, thank you very much for your phone call.
Yeah.
And Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I would just like to...
I need to get you to turn your phone, your radio down.
I would just like to say that this is regarding to our auto insurance. Whenever we get our auto insurance, everything has, in our auto...
We're not talking about automobile insurance, but we will. What is it about auto insurance you want?
No, I'd like to say about our privacy, about our driver's license.
Yeah.
The deal with our governor, I don't appreciate him making the official law that he has made for us to have to turn over all of our privacy in order to get driver's license.
Oh,
are you acquainted with that?
Yes, ma'am. I understand that you know, birth certificates and all your personal data is all required now.
Absolutely.
To get your driver's license renewed, and
they're talking about the Privacy Act. What is private anymore?
Well,
I mean, if we have got to turn over our life history in order to have anything out here, nothing is private. We don't have any privacy anymore.
Well, your point's well taken, ma'am. There's a lot more detail being required of you now to get anything done.
Absolutely.
And if you think privacy's been invaded, you just wait until you have to give all you got to give to get registered in the Affordable Care Act. The Internal Revenue Service and the federal government is going to know everything about
Well, they do now.
Well,
and they're going to know even more as time goes on, because they're digging into our lives more and more every day.
Okay, where you calling?
Obama, I tell you what, he's the biggest mistake this country's made.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Vidalia, Georgia.
Thank you for your phone call.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. My name's Lori Robertson, and I'm from Baxley.
Okay.
And I've lived with my mama and my dad for 4 years, and been helping take care of them because they're elderly and sick. And do you know they're stopping the home delivery meals effective November the 14th as part of Obamacare? And that's just 2 of them that's in the United States. It's going to be doing without a meal, and they're not able to get out and walk.
So you're saying they're stopping the Meal on Wheels program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that under concerted services, or what is that under?
Yes, sir. It runs under concerted services and the Older Americans Act funding.
Okay, is that because of the government shutdown, or is that just because they're cutting back?
Yes, sir. It's due to the lack of federal funding.
Okay. All right, and that's supposed to take place when?
Effective November the 14th, if nothing don't change by then.
Yeah.
And I also have a number that people can call to find out more about it.
Okay, well, I'm sure those that are involved in that have that phone number and can ask questions, but, that's a part of this shutdown thing, I guess.
Yes, sir, and that's mostly your older and elderly people.
Yeah, well, they certainly need to be taken care of, and hopefully something will be worked out, these funds restored, and that program continue.
Yes, sir, and I hope and pray they do.
Thank you for your phone call.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. If we, as United States citizens, would take one day of the year and go to our payroll directors and tell them to stop withholding taxes out of our paychecks and choose that same day of the year to not drive anywhere, I think we could send a clear message and show them what a government shutdown would be like and send a message to the gas companies about their gas prices.
Yep. That's but that takes a united effort and somebody to organize it and something to get done about it, and that takes the people doing that. And until the people make up their mind they've had enough, then things are going to stay the same.
Yes, sir. It would take a united effort from everyone, because I don't think the government could prosecute everyone if everybody done it.
Okay, where are you calling from?
Hazelhurst.
Okay, and have you dealt anything with the Health Care Act or your insurance, or have you seen any increase in premium or anything, or
I haven't seen an increase in premiums yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Okay. Thank you for your phone call.
Thanks, sir.
All right. 367-3001, 367-0028. Oh, those are the numbers. Both lines are open. We'd like to hear from you. We'll be here for a few more minutes taking your calls. Those of you that have called in, thank you very much. This is what this program's been all about, and we appreciate your input. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air. You need to turn your radio down in the background, please.
Hello?
Turn your radio down in the background so we don't get that feedback.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, buddy, you hear me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Hey, buddy, I was just wondering about Obamacare and all this stuff, where you go to the DFACS office up there to get help. They got it all shut down for automated doings. You can't never get nobody. And when you do try to get help, they always put you on the line for 2 hours, and then they shut you off, so you have to do it all over again.
Yeah, well, that I guess that requires a personal visit there.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, well, that's just a part of the new way of doing business with less personnel now, I guess. Are you talking about from the healthcare standpoint, or are you talking about just getting some help from DFACS?
Well, from the healthcare standpoint, for people needing help, you used to could get help, but
yeah,
now it's hard to even get them to talk to you or anything else.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hazelhurst, Georgia.
Okay, Hazelhurst, thank you very much for your phone call. Bye-bye. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good evening. My name's Marvin Calloway. I'm a 22-year Navy veteran. On the not paying the death benefits, I think it's a cotton-picking shame. The government promised the military people that, and now they're not sticking to their promises. On the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, any law that takes 2,000 pages to write is not going to be worth a crap. They ought to take that law and completely dismantle it. Now, I know there might be some good parts in it.
Yeah.
Good. We can pass the good parts in language that everybody can understand. But for the rest of it, get rid of it.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Baxley.
Okay, thank you very much for your phone call.
You're welcome, sir.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Y'all were talking about an increase in insurance premiums.
Yes, ma'am.
I happen to work for the county, and our deductible went from $500 to $2,500. Our doctor's visits that used to cost us $15 now cost us $30, and all of our even generic medicine went up from $7 to $10, and that's just on the low end.
Yeah.
the tier 2 and tier 3 medicines went up even more than that.
Is that just
And this is before Obamacare.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, that's not necessarily a result of Obamacare. That's just a fact of life, right?
Well, they had a meeting with us, and, they can't say it outright, of course, but, they told us to be prepared as things change, to be prepared for more changes.
Okay, and just in a nutshell, let me just point out to you that the reason you got that message and the reason that happened is because of the coverage of pre-existing conditions and because of the coverage of your children being able to stay on your health care now until they're 26 years old. So the insurance companies are passing the cost they're going to have for covering these additional things. They're passing it right back to the premiums on the people. So
yes, sir.
That's
yes, sir, because they're certainly not going to take the hit for it.
No, they're not. They seem to be making a lot of money, but they're not going to take the hit for that. The people are going to have to pay it.
Yes, sir.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Baxley.
Okay, thank you for your phone call. Z-94 is 367-3001 or 367-0028. Just a few more minutes now, and then we'll begin to kind of wind down a little bit. We've been talking about the Affordable Care Act, whether or not you've tried to get online and enroll, and from what we understand, everybody's having the same problem. You can't get online. If you do, you have to count to 10 3 or 4 times before you get through. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I'm calling from Coffee County area. In my opinion, just like basically about 95% of your people that has called today, this Republican and Democrat situation is really a nonsense situation from the beginning.
I agree with that.
The shutdown that we have is absolutely a nonsense from the beginning on both parties, and it's a disgrace of a president that we have up there right now. And as far as the Medicare and the health insurance, this just is not an American style of life. America, from the beginning, was a caring nation. They helped each other, and now it has turned into a fight each other generation. It's just an awful situation we're facing. And also the Vietnam, the veterans and different things like that, and they will not take care of them. This is just unreal. Young men, young women that are losing their lives, having the different parts of this mingle. It's just unreal of what they suffer for this nation and what our government is doing for them. It's just unreal.
All right. Well, we thank you for your phone call from Douglas, sir. Thank you very much.
About this Obamacare and having to have all this insurance. Here recently, my grandmother just went to the hospital, and I live in McRae, and whenever she got there, the doctors, because she didn't have insurance, they didn't run a CAT scan on her or anything. They diagnosed her with spinal meningitis, and they told her that she would get worse before she got better, and she died 4 days later. And the only thing they told her when she left the hospital was to take Tylenol. And man, I don't think it's right, because there's a lot of people around here in these small towns. They just can't afford to pay this high thing for Obamacare. It just ain't right. And they sit here and they're putting all these people, the middle class, down, and this will make everybody go bankrupt. Man, they're starting to not care. Doctors, they're not doing nothing for the people nowadays.
Well,
and I just wanted to let everybody know, man, these doctors, it's wrong. They pretty much, they didn't do a thing for my grandmother.
Okay, well, we're sorry about that situation. Hopefully that's not true in all cases, but I don't know what the details are there, but I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one, man.
Thank you very much for your call. Let us be clear, too, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not here to really, as that gentleman there had a bad experience, and whatever he feels is the way he feels, and he has a right to that. But we're not here to pick Barack Obama apart. You can feel the way you want to feel about it. There's some bad things in Obamacare. This is his signature success, his signature legislation, and his reputation's riding on it, and he's going to defend it. But there's a lot of bad stuff in it, and there's some good things about it, and there's a way for people to get it, and there's a way to make it work. And that's what the big deal's all about. Let's get it fixed and make it where it will work before we pass it on to people. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Yes. I have tried to get on the internet and do the Obamacare thing,
Okay.
I make less than $20,000 a year, and I'm already supposed to be able to get help with insurance and all that.
Right.
And they have not done anything. You get kicked off. You can't get to where you need to go. If we could get back to one nation under God and get a unity going on, I think the government would see that we are not going to take this anymore.
Well, I think you're right. But back to the trying to enroll in Obamacare and get the information about it, you had no success, right?
None whatsoever.
Okay.
None.
How many times did you try? How long do you have to wait? Or
Several times. You
Okay.
get kicked off. I let it rest for a minute. Go back on there. You can't get nowhere.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry you're having that problem, but we're told it's not ready to go, so it's not. Apparently, it's not ready.
Of course.
All right. Where are you calling from?
Back to Georgia.
Thank you for your call. 367-3001, 367-0028. And as I was trying to say, well, let's go back to the phones. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. This is Tommy Sellers from over in Elmer.
Uh-huh.
I get insurance through the company that I work for,
Right.
AmeriGas.
Yeah.
How's that Obamacare going to affect the insurance that they provide for us?
Well, I really don't know the technical answer to that, but you know, they're going to wind up having to continue to offer you the insurance that they're offering. They're probably going to sign you up into one of the Obamacare programs, whether it's a gold or a silver or a bronze or whatever, and then you're going to be facing the deductibles and the premium and what part the company pays. I guess they'll continue to pay, but in a case like that, where you know they're going to have to make a choice whether they participate with the enrollment of Obamacare or whether you do it personally, and that's going to be between you and your employer. But you know, if you do it personally and you decline it, then there's going to be a penalty you have to pay, or either you'll be into a gold, silver, or bronze, or platinum, whatever they call it. And you'll select a level of deductible and a level of premium that you'll agree with, or see whether or not you can afford to take. And if you don't take it, then there's going to be a penalty that you'll have to pay.
So it pretty much don't matter if you got insurance or not. Everybody's going to be affected by Obamacare one way or another.
Well, that was the goal, to get everybody where they could have insurance if they wanted it. And right now they're trying to make it attractive to the young people. So the young people will pay the higher premiums because they're healthy, so that they'll give money to take care of the people that don't have the money to pay the premiums. And you know, it's just a big old ball of wax, and it melts good in some ways and it melts bad in some ways.
Yes. Okay, that's what
I hope I'm no authority. I don't know it inside and out, but
yes.
You know, I've told you the best way from what I've learned about it. That I hope that answered something that you wanted to know.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you for your call.
Bye.
Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
How you doing?
All right.
That's just like, for instance, like you're talking about, where you're trying to get the young people stuff on it. I mean, you know that if you're under 21 and you have a child, they can come in and search your house anytime they want to.
No, I don't. I don't know that, but if you know, somebody smarter than I am can look at the law and tell you whether that's true or not. I don't know.
Yes, I mean, that's just from what I've read about it or heard about it. That's what they were telling me was, if you're under 21 and have a child, for instance, they can come in and search your house, and if you make less than a certain amount of money, they can come in and search your house without a warrant.
Well, I know there are certain things and certain provisions in Obamacare that they can get into your personal bank account. If you hadn't paid your fine or paid your premiums or whatever, they can get into your account and debit your account to get it paid. And you just give up a lot of freedoms. There's a lot of imposition into our personal lives that the government's sticking their fingers in our lives that they don't really need to be doing, and that's some of the big issue with this Obamacare law. And that's why one side's fighting all that stuff, and the other side's standing up for the other things that are good in it, you know. And that's where these adults that are representing us in Congress, acting like kids on the playground, playing over the biggest piece of candy.
Yeah, such as our right to this search and seizure.
Where are you calling from?
Douglas, Georgia.
Douglas, thank you for your phone call this afternoon.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
You too. Hey, where was I? Folks, it's really up to us to be in touch with our congressmen and our senators. And, I think there's a groundswell in this country, in South Georgia, in the United States. I think more and more people are seeing the light these days. And, you've got liberals on one side and you got conservatives on the other, and they're arguing about who's right and who's wrong. And we'll go to the line. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I'm in Oak Park. The best I can take on Obamacare is extortion and communism. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, where are you calling from?
Oak Park.
Okay, Oak Park. Thank you. Good to hear from you folks up there.
Thanks.
All righty. Folks, you're going to have to get active. You're going to have to get involved. This is reaching into your household. You see what you pay at the pump. You see what your insurance premiums are doing. Some people's going to get help. Some people's not going to get it. Some people's going to have big deductibles and high premiums. Some people's going to have low premiums and low deductibles. This has got to be something that's good for us all. It can't be good for just a certain segment of our society. And it's like a caller said earlier. Well, we got both lines ringing. Let's take care of one of them. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Quick question.
Yes.
When you apply for Obamacare, do you know when you can start using it? If it's a 30-day, 90-day, or 1 year before you can even use it?
I think it goes in. I think it goes into full play in January the 1st.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have another line ringing? They dropped off. Okay. Both lines are open now if you want to get a call in, but folks, it's going to take the people to react, and I think there's a groundswell across this country now of people that are really getting fired up. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir, Mr. Al. I was calling. I was wondering how many insurance companies are going to be dissolved of your private insurance before this to force you into Obamacare.
Well, there are going to be some insurance companies that go out of business. There's no question about that. And some people are going to stop taking the right and health insurance. Some already have. And they're just not going to get into it because of the complications of it, and because what it's going to do, the premiums and the high deductibles and things like that. There's some insurance companies are going away from health insurance coverage.
Yes, sir. I got a letter last week that mine goes out of effect as of December 31st.
So
what option does that leave you with? Obamacare or nothing else?
That's what it's going to come down to. If you have insurance and if you have that protection, then you're going to wind up ultimately under Obamacare. Or if you buy it on the open market, now you're going to pay a higher premium and you're going to wind up paying a higher deductible to try to keep your premium down. So it'll be there, but it's going to be costly. And that's the thing that's bugging everybody, because the promise was that your premium's going to be reduced by $2,500 a year, and you can still keep your own doctor. Well, more and more people are finding out that's not the case.
Yes, sir. Well, more people fuss too about big business and about helping big business, but all that does is create a monopoly and a bigger business for the insurance companies.
Well, and that's one of the
insurance providers going to be the one that's going to sit on top.
Yep, and see, insurance companies can't compete across state lines. If they could compete all across the country, insurance would be a whole lot more affordable. But some insurance companies can write insurance in Georgia that can't in Florida, and some can write in Florida that can't in Georgia. So that's another thing our Congress and our Senate has done. They've allowed where it's against the law for them to compete across state lines, and that eliminates, that says, well, to all the insurance companies, well, you've got this state, and they've got this state, and they've got this state. So that don't lead to people but a few choices to select from, rather than having a chance to get a quote from every insurance company in the country. So
people better wake up, because this done going into effect, because I done got my letter that mine goes out of date as of December 31st.
So after December 31st, your company's not going to cover you or your family anymore?
That's right. It's dissolved. That company will no longer be around.
Well, you better start looking, my friend, but don't be surprised at what you find cost-wise.
All right. I appreciate it.
Where are you calling from?
Baxley.
Thank you for your call.
All right, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin to kind of wind down a little bit here, let me encourage you, all the people that have called in, the central theme has been, the common denominator has been pretty much the same. But, folks, we have got to get proactive. We got to get active in this. We got to get active in talking to our leaders that are representing us about our country and how we feel about things and what we want to see done, and have them be accountable to us rather than us being accountable to them. And whoever's going to run for Congress in 2014 or Senate in 2014, one of the main questions you ought to be asking them is how you feel about this, how you feel about that, and you understand that you're being sent there to represent us, not for power and money, not to spend the rest of your life as a career politician. Z-94, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I have a question for you.
I hope I can answer it.
If we were to sign up for Obamacare, are we locked in for a set time period, or is there a time that we can get back off of it?
I don't know where it's an annual thing, whether you can opt out of it and then pursue your insurance on the open market. I don't know the answer to that, but I wouldn't think you'd be locked into it. I think you could go one way or the other, but under the Affordable Care Act, there's going to be different scenarios available to you to choose from, and the point is you just at some point in time you're going to be under the federal insurance program, though.
I just find it strange that this issue's never been discussed.
Sir?
I find it strange that this issue's never been discussed.
Well, it's been discussed, but it hadn't been put out there in front of the public where they can understand it. And Nancy Pelosi was very, very right when she said we got to pass a law before we can find out what's in it. Of course, you shouldn't ever pass a law before you know what's in it. But there's stuff in it now that they still don't even know about. They still don't even know how to enforce. They don't even know how to interpret it or how it's going to apply to people. But there's an underlying thing in Obamacare. It is to centralize the control and the power over our lives in the hands of the government, and that is a no-no. That is not what this country was founded on, and our writers of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are rolling in their graves now, seeing the way this country is going.
Well, it's definitely the onset of fascism, or at least socialism.
Where are you calling from?
From Douglas.
Thank you for your call, Douglas.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, Bill, I appreciate you letting me sit on your show today,
it's
buddy.
It's been entertaining for sure.
It's been interesting, and we got about 10 minutes left to go, and we'll kind of begin to wrap it up here. But we've been talking about the Affordable Care Act / Obamacare. We've also talked to some degree about the treatment our military families are getting now when they've had the notice come that they've had a loved one die in action, and just recently, last weekend, five were lost, and the way that they have been treated under this so-called government shutdown has just been deplorable, ladies and gentlemen. And our Secretary of Defense has been to Dover Air Force Base to receive bodies one time since he's been as Secretary of Defense, and that's been almost 9-10 months now, and that was just this week. And for these families to have to be taken care of by Fisher House Charities instead of our government living up to the promise that they were made when these soldiers took their oath of service to our country, it's just downright deplorable and disgusting, if you want to know the truth about it. And I know we got some good people up there in Washington that are supposed to be representing us. Some people come forth with some good ideas. I'm not saying they're all bad, but the few that are up there are so few or so bashful that they can't push the establishment to get anything done or to get any attention. And when they do, they're called troublemakers and radicals and Tea Partiers and all this kind of thing. Well, when it comes, just look at your family, look at your household budget, look at what you have to do with the income you have. You have to go down there and buy the gas, you have to pay your light bill, you have to buy your children's clothes, you have to buy food, you have to pay doctor bill and pay for the insurance and this kind of stuff. And at the end of the month, you can't do any more and can't take on any more than what your ability to pay for your family is. And why our government cannot understand that you cannot spend more than you take in is so ridiculous and so elementary that it is sickening to see us that we're running a $17 trillion deficit. That means there's a debt on the back of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and their grandchildren. And do we want that to go on? And do we want that to be what's left of our country for our survivors? I don't think so. I certainly hope not. And the only way that's ever going to be dealt with and cured is for us to send some common sense people to Washington, D.C. to get the job done. It's not going to be easy, but when we've got people starving to death and homeless in this country, can't we just cut back on the billions we send to foreign aid countries and help our people at home? Can't we do that? I'm not saying shut off the rest of the world. Try to help where you can. But first of all, take care of what we've got to do here at home, and we'll be a better people for it. God has taken his blessings off of the United States of America, I believe, and I believe there's a cloud hanging over it, and I believe that's the reason we're experiencing some of the things we're experiencing. I'm a Christian, and I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm a believer, and I'm not ashamed of it, but folks, we've got to get back to our founding fathers' principles, and we got to get back to being responsible and accountable under our Creator. And we've had historical leaders in our country that have said that down through the years, but we have become so comfortable and so taking things for granted that we're just saying, well, they're going to take care of it. Well, you see where that's gotten us. You see where we are. You see what you and your family run into every day. Every night when you lay your head down on your pillow, you think about your children or your grandchildren or your mother and your daddy or your aunt and your uncle, and you think about what kind of situation they're in. You think about what we're leaving to our survivors, and it's not a pretty sight. And it's time that we right now, the ones that are in the position to do something about it, it's time for us to do something about it. And it starts out right down there at the Appleton County Courthouse, and it goes all the way to the Capitol in Atlanta, and it goes all the way to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. And every leader in the county, the city, the state, and the nation is accountable to the people that elected them and to the people that pay the taxes to keep this thing going. And it's time we got the representation that we deserve. Taxation without representation leads to a dictatorship. A lot of people think that's where we are and that's where we're so close to. But it's up to us to do something about it. This is Al Graham. Wild Bill, thank you again. And folks out there, we just thought you might like to know for what it's worth. It's been good to be with you. I appreciate it. And it's always good to talk to the people in South Georgia, especially our Z-94 listeners. Thank you, Wild Bill.
Thank you.